Welcome to Shiny Locked. Wait, what the hell is that? Is this even possible? Welcome back to the third episode in my Shiny Lock series, and in this series I'm locked to each of the Paldean regions, but I can only leave when I catch a shiny in each route. Across the regions are 21 routes to hunt through, not including the Great Crater. In episode 2 we raced against the clock, and if you haven't seen that episode yet I would definitely recommend watching it. Although we won't be racing against the clock this time, there are still some rules. No Herba Mystica, no mass outbreaks, no duplicate shinies, and no duplicate typings within each episode. That means if we catch any of the Pokemon caught in a previous episode, it doesn't count and we need to find another. In this episode, I'll be combining the two smaller East and North provinces, catching at least 8 shiny Pokemon and setting us up for episode 4 inside the Great Crater. Not only is this the most Pokemon we've had to catch in an episode, this is also the longest hunt I've ever done, so stay tuned to see what happens. We kick things off in Area 1 of the Northern Province, and an area I was really excited for. Tinkertuff is an awesome Pokemon. Not only does it look cool, its evolution Tinkaton is a really effective raid attacker. Shiny Tinkertuff wields a bronze hammer instead of a steel one and can be found naturally spawning in Area 1 or boosted with a fairy encounter sandwich. Ultra Ham sandwiches are an easy way to get that fairy boost and turns the northern area into an overrun valley of swinging hammers and blonde ponytails. An easy hunt, I thought. So I'm officially making my 6th Ultra Ham sandwich and I'm still yet to see anything. I'm honestly doubting at this point whether shinies do exist. On a positive note though, I've managed to get through 4 episodes of Ahsoka this hunt alone, which I'm finally catching the end of. Spoiler alert by the way, and I'm not normally one to pick plot holes, but there's a whole scene dedicated to how General Syndulla has no evidence this big bad event happened, and the whole time I've been thinking, dashcams. Dashcams would have solved this whole issue and cleared everything up in about 2 minutes. Anyway, if there was a way to track how many Pokemon you had seen and not necessarily encountered, I honestly think my numbers for Tinkertuff would be scary. Definitely in the thousands. And as I thought about a new series to watch, hiding behind a tree I saw a flicker of bronze in a very grey world. Over 3 days I had racked up almost 5 hours of hunting for this one Pokemon, and after a quick save, a few selfies, Tinkertuff joined the team and became our first shiny Pokemon of episode 3. Tired and worn out, I saved the game and went to bed. Only joking, I was buzzing. I went straight into Area 2 and set up in the Bamboo Forest. In this area are so many cool Pokemon, but I always remembered there being a lot of bug Pokemon, and when I checked online, I wasn't disappointed. Found in this area are Pokemon like Scyther, Heracross, Venomoth, Lokix, and... You've got to be joking. I didn't even know these Pokemon spawned in this area. Spidops? Sure. Not common, but they're around. These things? No, not a chance. After catching the 4th shiny Tarantula of this series, I did actually go to bed. I woke up refreshed, re-energized and ready to catch a shiny Pokemon. Luckily for me, it didn't take anywhere near as long as the Tinkertuff. As I walked through the bamboo, a bright orange ball caught my eye, which was of course shiny Kricketot. A quick battle later, and me twice missing the fact that Kricketot has shed skin, I managed to catch the 3rd shiny Pokemon of episode 3 and move on to the 3rd route, the Glaseado Mountains. The 3rd route in this region took us high up the Glaseado Mountains and an opportunity to catch one of the more extravagant shiny Pokemon. Sneasel turns a brilliant shade of pink when shiny and is so hard to miss on the side of an icy mountain. I set up a picnic near the top and made myself an ultra avocado sandwich and began looping up and down the ski slope. Although I was keen to get a shiny Sneasel as they do look really cool, after a couple of hours I definitely needed a change of scenery. Across all the episodes so far I haven't got a single Pokemon from the water and I thought this one had to be. I do normally try to avoid water hunts as it always makes me lag, although it doesn't really matter in this area as the snow kills your FPS anyway. The blizzard went away and I managed to get an hour of hunting in before I found a tiny green turtle chilling in the pond. I was actually hoping for a Psyduck or Magikarp, but I'll definitely take a shiny Tootle any day. Out goes Breloom, and without much of a fight, we catch the shiny Tootle, becoming the third member of the team. This is definitely the hardest episode so far, and you'll see why soon, but you won't believe how it ends. I have spent so much time in Area 4 across my playthroughs, it was almost second nature coming here. If you didn't know already, a great early XP farm is to make normal encounter power sandwiches and hunt down those chances on this path. In the DLC though, this becomes a great spot again as you collect Happiny dust for the item printer. Along this path and on the beach are Pokemon like Golduck, Outtro and Florges. For me though, it made sense to try and get that shiny Chansey. I created my sandwich and got to work running up and down the hillside. Now I don't know about you, but I always struggle with the Floettes. They're so small I just don't even look anymore. I honestly wouldn't want to know how many shiny Floettes I've ignored over the years. Fortunately for me though, only on my second sandwich in, and we found a shiny Blissey. Another great find, and after a quick fight, Blissey was caught and joined the team. The northern region went pretty smoothly, minus the Tinkertuff hunt of course, but the eastern province just went from bad to worse the more Pokemon I caught. Little did I know I was setting myself up for one of the hardest hunts so far this series. If you've made it up to this point, firstly, thank you so much, but also I know you won't want to miss what's coming up in the series. I've got plenty more episodes planned with even harder challenges to come, so please hit that subscribe button. North of Artisan sits the Eastern Province Area 1, and a great opportunity for me to catch a flying type Pokemon. Spawning normally around the town are Murkrows and Squawkabillies of all colours. Unlike Murkrow, which turns bright pink, Squawkabilly's shiny is a little more refined. The only notable change is that the tuft on its head changes from black to a peachy colour, subtle but still noticeable. My target here though was definitely the Murkrow out of the two, and I began my laps trying to find one. We haven't caught a shiny flying type since the very first Pokemon in episode 1, so it was about time. I made myself a flying type sandwich and got to work. Just under the hour, we found an odd looking bird standing out from the rest and I quickly saved. Again, I tried to use Spore, but I'd come up against another Pokemon immune to it. I tried instead to Paralyze, and of course missed both times. Not one to be defeated, I threw the Luxury Ball and managed to crit catch anyway. Murkrow was added to the team and I fell a little further down the slippery slope I was creating for myself. Area 2 was a prime example of how this challenge increases in difficulty the further we go. Starting out, I decided to hunt around the ruins aiming to catch a shiny Ghastly. Hunting this shiny is a little annoying as it only faintly changes colour, but it was for that reason I wanted to catch one. Another ghost Pokemon that spawns here is Mimikyu, and I'd love to get a shiny one. It's not a hunt I've ever attempted and the colour barely changes, but it's such a cool Pokemon I feel like I'm missing out. I've been trying to mix it in harder hunts as we go, and this was definitely another opportunity. I made myself a great vegetable sandwich and began walking around the ruins, staring intently at shades of purple as I went. After an hour and a half, I finally managed to find a shiny. With my ghost encounter power to active, I found a shiny Marill. Don't get me wrong, the Marill family shinies are some of the best in my opinion. They turn from a bright green to a shiny gold. And that's all great, but Marill's a water Pokemon, and that means he doesn't count. Down but not defeated, I changed location and stuck with the ghost theme. Along the beaches of Area 2, one of the coolest shiny Pokemon can be found. Arguably not one of the best Pokemon, but still a really cool shiny. I kicked off another ghost sandwich, put Wolfie's World Championship video on, and got to work. And as Wolfie was talking through his final team choice, I caught a black sandcastle in the corner of my screen. I wandered over, hit the save, and threw out Breloom. Now the issue with catching a ghost Pokemon is that physical moves aren't effective, something that I completely forgot in my haste to finish the area. Fortunately for me though, Sandicast was caught with full health, put to sleep, and a critical capture. At this point though, I had no idea how hard I was making the end of this challenge, but buzzing off the latest capture, I carried on into Area 3. The third area takes us to a rocky, desert-type biome and gives us a chance to catch a rock or ground-type Pokemon. Now, I did actually think about catching the Entei here, but I thought that might be cheating, and it's not shiny. Across this area are some really cool Pokemon that we haven't caught yet, like Torkoal, Salandit or Sableye. Also in this area though are a lot of Makuitas, Orthworms and Larvatars, all of which we definitely can't catch. I entered the rocky outback and began hunting for a good place to start. As always, I kick off each hunt by looking for a spot the Pokemon I want normally spawns in. This time though was a little different, but I'll let it play out.
I didn't even see a Pokemon then. Oh, it's Bramlin. Nice. And it's shiny. Are you joking? I've literally been here 7 minutes and all of that time was me walking around trying to find a good spot. And I'll be completely honest, I didn't actually know what the shiny Bramlin looked like. And that was it. Eastern Province Area 3 complete. A grass Pokemon added to the team and 1 area left. But if you've been following closely, you might have seen what I've done wrong. But if you're still unaware, well, let's jump straight in.
Within the Tagtree Thicket is one of the team starter hideouts, but it's probably equally as well known as a good place to catch the support Pokemon, Impidimp. Impidimp evolves into a Grimmsnarl, which is a really strong support Pokemon for raids, but also has a really distinct shiny. Found in this area are a lot of Bug, Fairy, Water and some normal Pokemon, all types we can't catch, and all make up the majority of spawns here. I ended up settling on a Pokemon I could catch and got to work. The Pokemon I decided on was Impidimp. I double checked and it's a dark Pokemon first, it's within the rules I set out at the start, and I began hunting. 2 hours I spent hunting for this Pokemon, and at no point did I realise how mistaken I was. In fact, I managed to find the shiny, catch it, look at the Pokédex entry page, and was still oblivious. By the way, has anyone noticed that Impidimp's eyes don't close when it's asleep? It's so weird. Skip forward a little while, and after I'd finished congratulating myself for finishing, this is the moment I realised I'd messed up.
I've just noticed something. Oh shit, I can't believe I've just done that. Murkrow's a dark Pokemon, not a flying type. Well, I mean it's flying, but it's dark first. That means this Impidimp doesn't count. That means I've wasted the last 2 hours, and that means I need a new Pokemon. But I don't. What do I hunt? I can't get water. No. Dark, no. Fairy, no. Is there anything else left?
I frantically checked online for what I could actually catch, knowing my options were slim. There was only one viable option remaining: poison. Poison Pokemon are admittedly ones I never think of, and something that definitely saved me in this challenge. I made myself a great noodle sandwich and got to work. 2.5 hours in, and I'm starting to lose hope, but I don't really have any other viable options. That was until this happened, and I can honestly say this has never happened to me before, and to be honest, I don't think it will again.
Oh my god, it's a shiny one. It's a shiny one. It is as well. I can't believe I've finally done it again. Wait, there's no way. There's no way. That's a shiny Venomoth, isn't it? It is as well. It's a shiny Venomoth. That's 2 at the same time. You can't be serious. Oh no. Does it disappear? If I need to hurry this up. I can't believe this has actually happened.
Excuse me, do you have time to talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
That's right, for the first time ever since playing Pokemon, in the thousands of hours playing these games, I actually found 2 shiny Pokemon at the same time, and it came at just the right moment. With those 2 catches though, we managed to get a poison type Pokemon, and in doing so, we completed the last area in this episode. I honestly don't think I could have written a better story arc if I tried, because what makes it even worse is that I actually completely forgot about the Tagtree Thicket. It was only when I started editing this video together, I actually realised. So not only did I forget about a whole section of the map, I caught the wrong Pokemon in a rush to finish, and then actually managed to catch 2 shiny Pokemon at the same time. Although I'm way past my schedule for this video, on a positive note, we did finish. We did get all the Pokemon, and we actually finished with 11 shiny Pokemon this hunt, and that means we've completely filled one box so far this series, and there are plenty more to come. If you are enjoying this series and you do want to see what happens, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.